Welcome to another episode of Ginger Ninja DIY. Today we're going to be doing a product from Flash Harry. And the product that we've chosen to do our tiled roof is Frogskin roof paint. So let me just tell you a little bit about Frogskin roof paint. So 1, it is lead free. 2, it has a low VOC. 3, it's dirt resistant. 4, it's weather resistant. And 5, it's UV resistant. So that's exactly what you want in a roof paint, and we got it all in one package. Right, so we're going to be using that product, but before we apply that product, we're going to be using this liquid plastic product, also from Flash Harry. A couple of great elements about this particular product is it has 350% stretch in it, and you need that on your roof, because the last thing you want to do is you put a waterproofing on the roof and it cracks because it can't stretch with the heat. So that's the super part about it. It's an acrylic polymer product, and polymers are really the future in waterproofing. And I've got to be honest, I've used this product a lot, and it really is the Rolls Royce when it comes to waterproofing. So, without any further ado, you know me, every product that I ever use in any video, I've thoroughly tested. And so, as with any video, I'll always do the box test. So we're going to show you the box test that we've tested that product, and it's very important this, because even though I have previously done the box test with other products, it's important that you realize that these waterproofing products don't always work on the box. They require a lot of coatings before the box is sealed properly. But we're going to show you the box test. I want you to know that it was only one coat used on that particular box, and then we're going to get up on the roof and we're going to show you how to waterproof and how to paint your roof. Right, so I always like to test any waterproofing product with the box test. And the reason why I use a box in particular and not anything else is because cardboard is highly absorbent. So if the waterproofing product doesn't work and the water comes through to the cardboard, I already know that the product will not work on your roof. If it can't work on cardboard, it's not going to work on any other surface. So I've gone ahead and I put one coat on this particular box. We use liquid plastic, that product over there, from Flash Harry, and we wanted to see if it would cope on the box test. And if you look at this box now, you can see that I've got the water full here. I just want to lower it down so the camera can see. So it's full of water, and that's not the amazing part about the box test. The amazing part about the box test is that the cardboard is dry. If the cardboard was wet, then we know product's gonna leak on your roof. And the last thing you want to do is put a waterproofing product, go to all that trouble of getting up on the roof and painting, and then the product fails. So therefore, this liquid plastic from Flash Harry is a really great product, but we're going to go and do the application on the roof. But I'd really like to give this product my Ginger Ninja seal of approval. And the reason for that is I've tested it in showers, I've tested it in ponds, I've tested it in dams, I've tested it on balconies, and it just keeps on proving itself again and again and again. So therefore, polymers, acrylic polymers like this one here in particular, are just super great. And the next thing we're going to go do is we're going to get up on the roof, we're going to do the inspection of the roof, and then we're going to show you how to waterproof a tiled roof. Right, so we've done the inspection of the roof, and that was our next process. So basically, the roof is in quite a fair condition. Although the people that want the roof done, they don't desire the color green, because the whole house is grey and charcoal, and therefore we're going to paint this roof with Frogskin charcoal roof paint. But before we do that, it's very important to use a high pressure washer if you have flaking paint or that kind of thing. You want to make sure that you blast all that paint off. Take a scraper if there is any flaking paint. But in this particular application over here, we don't have any flaking paint, but we have got a lot of dust on the roof. And it's very important to get rid of all that grime, dust, before you start waterproofing or before you start painting the roof. There is a couple of places where we're going to show you that we have to use membrane and waterproof those areas, but generally the roof is in a fair condition. And so what we're going to do today is we're just going to hose down the roof, taking away all that dust. And basically I've just got a normal hose pipe here because, like I say, we've got no flaking paint, we don't have any problems like that, we just generally got dust. So basically it's quite simple. You're going to switch on your hose pipe and you're going to just make sure that you get all that dust off. And then it's very important to let that roof dry so that when you put the paint on, you're not going onto a wet surface. So this is quite self-explanatory. I'm going to make sure I get all the leaves off the roof, all the dust, and then we're going to go to our next application. Right, so after washing down the roof, it's always important then to re-inspect the roof. And after we washed it down, we found a couple of problematic areas which we're going to waterproof with liquid plastic. One of them being over here. Often it happens on a roof here where you've got a lot of cracking that's actually along the ridge cap here. And that's no good because this ridge cap disperses a lot of water down here, and it's no good if the water backfeeds under the ridge cap here. So we're going to identify those areas and we're going to fix them with liquid plastic. As well as if you come here to the end of the roof, the camera can just pan there, you'll see here that we've got a nice fascia board here. But there's a big gap underneath here, and that is just no good. Water will come underneath here and then it might leak into something else. So we want to make sure that we take a bit of membrane here and we waterproof this. This particular tile on this roof is a bit of a headache because some tiles have become obsolete. They don't make that tile anymore, and therefore if you've got a broken tile on a roof, the best first alternative to do is to replace the tile. But in these cases where we've got an old roof and the tiles are obsolete, we haven't got that facility to replace the tile. But you'll see that we've got a little nick here, and on a couple of the tiles they're broken on the corners, and we're going to show you how to fix those particular areas with a bit of membrane and a bit of filler. So that's our next step, and we're going to show you that soon. Right, so I'm just going to show you a nice helpful hint on how to pour paint. So we've gone ahead and we've stirred our liquid plastic that we're going to use on the roof. But what is really cool is if you guys make a V with mask intake on your container, which I've done over here, and you'll see I've got a little bit of a V going here. It's just easier for you then to pour your paint and you don't have excessive mess using a lot of that valuable liquid. And you'll see how nice that just pours in, and it's really easy. And then if you've got a little bit of excess, it'll fall onto the mask intake and it won't go anywhere. So we're just pulling that up so that when we're on the roof we've got a smaller bucket, so we don't waste a lot of product in case the bucket falls. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll see you on the roof. Right, so before we use our membrane and our liquid plastic, we're going to be using this product, Soudal, and that's a bitumen sealant, and that is great for little cracks that we've got here on our ridge cap over here. So you'll see if the camera can just zoom in there. So we've got a nice little indentation over here, and then the crack goes right along there. And you can't really seal that with just waterproofing. You need a little bit of filler inside it, and that's why we're using this roof repair product from Soudal. Really great product. I've used it before and it really works fantastic on roofs. And so we're going to show you how to use that. So the first thing first with any product is when it's a sealant, you need to cut off the lid, put your cap on, and then we're going to put it into our silicone gun that we got from Alkaline here. You can see it's a nice well-used silicone gun. Always really using some kind of sealant or some kind of silicone. Right, and now we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do now, if you can just focus there, you'll see that you do always get it's quite thick, rather thick, this product, and so we're going to fill those little indentations, those little grooves, before we put our liquid plastic on. See, I don't allow any gap on any roof, because if you've got a gap, generally what will happen is the water will go into that gap and then it'll cause you endless problems. So I'm going to go ahead now and pull all this cracking right along the ridge, right along here, right along this whole ridge cap, and then from there we're going to show you the next step. Right, so now that we put our liquid plastic into our bucket over here, I'm just putting it up here because this roof's quite steep. So the next process is for us to do this particular flashing here. So we've got a flashing here and we've got a gap here, and the owner of this particular property has had continuous problems with leaves falling behind you and then blocking this and not allowing the water to flow. So in that particular case, it's always best to put a membrane, and we're going to basically brush our liquid plastic onto here. So we first put it on nice and wet, give it a nice liberal coat. Obviously I'm going to do the entire section of this roof, but just for movie purposes and not to make it so boring for you, I'm just going to do a little place. Like I say, this roof is extremely steep. Right, and then while it's wet, you take your membrane and you stick it, give it a nice sort of overlap there. And in this particular case, you're going to have places where you have to cut. Membrane is always quite difficult to cut through. So each basically tile we'll cut so that we can get the membrane fitting nice and on. And then it's basically a matter of painting over your membrane, making sure that you have no creases inside the membrane. It's very, very important. And we're basically going to do that to the entire rim of this roof, and then we're going to show you the next step. Right, so now that we've sealed the ridge cap over here, so you'll see that we've gone right along there, making sure that we've got no little cracking going along the perimeter of the wall. And you'll see we've done the entire roof. So we've done all that ridge capping, and we are totally waterproof, watertight, and it's very important to do the top of the roof because that's the highest point, and as it gradually goes down, the water picks up speed, and therefore it's very important that the top of any tiled roof is waterproof the utmost best to your ability. As well as here on the side here where the barge board was, we took that membrane and we waterproofed here so that when the rain comes down, it cannot push leaves underneath here and cause a lot of blockage. It's all going to go straight down to the gutter, and that's really what you want, a waterproofing system that's seamless. And liquid plastic, I tell you what, was an amazing product. It really goes on beautiful, and it just seals wherever it goes. And that's what's great about liquid plastic from Flash Harry. So we're going to go ahead now and make sure that we do all the waterproofing spots, which you'll see on all over the roof here. We've done every little spot that we can do. But before I carry on, I just want to show you what to do if you've got a broken tile. Okay, so sometimes you've got a broken tile and the tile's become obsolete. You can't get that tile anymore, and so you're forced to repair that tile. And we're going to show you how to do that now. Right, so again, I'm going to be using that roof repair from Soudal. I used it earlier, that's why it's so dirty, the particular bottle. And again, you'll need your normal chalking gun here. Or some people call it a silicone gun, but it's a chalking gun. And what I'm going to do is a nice and simple thing. So you'll see, if the camera just pans down there, you'll see that we have a broken little corner here. Normally that happens because the guy walks on the end of the tile and then he chips it.
And it's important to actually fill these areas because a lot of people will just leave them. And the reason for that is because your water is going to go now in this particular gap here. And the last thing you want is the water backfeeds under the tile, and then you've got a little leak inside your house. So it is important that every tile flows nicely right down to the end, to the gutters. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fill that little area with some of this roof repair from Soudal. And that goes on fairly easy. It's a nice thick product. It does take a bit of time to squeeze it out, and you're going to squeeze a little bit more than what you actually need. Right, and then you're going to take a little scraper and you're just going to smooth that out nicely. And voila, we've repaired our roof tile. So like I say, always the first option is to rather replace the tile. But in the event that you cannot get that tile and it's become obsolete, like this particular roof, then this product here, roof repair from Soudal, works really well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do all these little places where we do have chipped tiles, and then we're going to take liquid plastic and we're going to paint over that. Obviously I've got to wait for this product to dry. So I'm going to wait for this product to dry and go and do all the little chips on the tiles, and then after that I'll go over with liquid plastic. And then we're going to show you how to paint your roof. Right, so we've waterproofed the entire roof, and our next step is to put the roof paint on. So it's a bit steep, this roof, and therefore I'm just showing you that we're using Frogskin roof paint from Flash Harry. So it's very important to wear a safety hat and to wear a harness when you're on the roof. I was a bit naughty yesterday when I was showing you the waterproofing. I wasn't wearing it, and it's important to do that because the last thing you want to do is that you fall off the roof and then you'll end up in hospital. So it's important to wear a safety hat, a safety bib, and a harness. But we've done that now, and our next step is to paint the roof. So basically we're just going to take a nice coat to the roof, and we're going to brush over our waterproofing, and you'll see how lovely the two interact with each other because you've got your liquid plastic on already here, and look how nicely that goes on. So normally when you've got a roof and you've got sort of like paint that is flaking or anything like that, you normally do use a storm krill primer from Flash Harry. But in our case, the surface of the roof was in a good condition, and therefore we didn't have to use a primer. We did use waterproofing, and then we used the roof paint. But when you've got a tin roof, it's always your primer first, then your waterproofing, then your roof paint, in that order. But with a tile roof, if your paint is in a good condition, you don't have to use a primer. You can go ahead and paint your roof paint on. But in the cases where you've got any problems whatsoever, always use a primer. You don't want to have flaking paint. You don't want that paint coming off. And so now the next step for us is really to paint the roof now. We're going to do 2 coats of this Frogskin roof paint, and then we're going to show you the before and after pictures. Thank you very much.
Right, so now that we've done the application of the 2 products, the Frogskin roof paint and the liquid plastic from Flash Harry, I just want to speak briefly about these 2 products. With the Frogskin roof paint, the great purpose of this product is the fact that it's got a low sheen in that particular roof paint. Most roof paints on the market are matte, but this one's got a low sheen, and that makes it fully washable. So when you get rain and when you want to wash down your roof, the dirt doesn't stick to the surface and allows you to keep that roof nice and clean, which is basically what you really want to do with a roof. The other product, the liquid plastic from Flash Harry, is one of the most affordable polymers on the market at the moment. I've used this product extensively for so many different purposes, and it really is the Rolls Royce when it comes to polymer products. So therefore, after doing the application of the two products, I'd like to give it my Ginger Ninja seal of approval. Below will be a link. Please support us by going onto the website and watching our videos. This allows us to give you more videos, so please support us by doing that. We're going to show you the before and after pictures, and thank you very much for spending the day with us and watching this particular video. Thank you.